Hello pilots, Max here, and today I will be taking out the A6M5 Otsu into air simulator battles. At battle rating 5.0 and rank 4, will it perform as well as you expect a Zero to? Let's find out. So, the A6M5, part of the famous Zero family of Japanese fighters. Most of you know it as being the uncontested turn fighting champion, and that much is true. All Zeros, particularly lower rated ones, perform very well in turn fights, especially in the two-circle flow. Unfortunately, as the battle ratings climb to as high as 5.0, the Zero's downsides really start to show. Its fragile airframe, lack of engine power, and comparably low structural speed limit simply puts you at a disadvantage compared to most other planes at the battle rating. Most, if not all, of the opponents you face will have planes that feel more powerful, capable, and overall more modern than your A6M5. This plane should be used very situationally. Unless you're confident that you'll be able to get into a turn fight with an energy advantage, engaging is unlikely to result in your victory. And even if you do get on someone's tail, even if you are in an advantageous position, its low gun velocity and poor spread means you'll have a hard time actually securing the kill. In the first engagement for the day, I have entered a one-on-one dogfight with a Spitfire from a low energy state, which was not the smartest move considering my aircraft, but I believe I can make this work due to my Zero having a comparable turn rate to that of the Spitfire. Here we both start very slowly turning in, gauging the situation, judging how we act, and looking for an opportunity to get on each other's tail. But since both of us are evenly matched in terms of turn rate, this two-circle flow continues for a short while. Here neither of us really have a chance to shoot, so we just keep turning until that happens, and here I manage to pull up over him and successfully latch myself onto his tail, fire some shots, and deal a little bit of damage.
5,000 meters.
Unfortunately, at this point the Spitfire realizes that I'm flying in a very slow aircraft and can dive, gain some speed, and simply leave me behind. At this point, I have no chance of keeping up due to my anemic engine and slow airframe, and my only shot is desperately spraying bullets in the Spitfire's general direction. To further add to the unfavorability of this situation, it seems that flying in a straight line for a long time and desperately spraying bullets has made me into a priority target for the P-51 Mustang that managed to sneak up on me. And the P-51 scares the life out of me with that tracer fire, forces me to pull into the vertical as a desperate attempt to avoid him, and using his 50 cal machine guns promptly deletes my wing, which is not too difficult comparing the fragility of the Japanese airframe. In this next engagement, I'm flying with a teammate intercepting a low-flying bomber. For this role, the A6M5's guns are really not helpful, being very difficult to aim, and with the Zero's tendency to shatter the instant it itself is hit, following the bomber feels very tricky and dangerous. I pull away as soon as the gunners hit me, which means they have their aim zeroed on me, and I choose to simply let the battleship take care of the bomber. Here the battleship sets the bomber on fire, but I'll show you why the enemy is never dead until you see them crash. I pull away assuming a victory, but the B-18 simply puts out the fire and keeps flying as if nothing happened. So I roll left and pull in to reconfirm my kill. I choose to approach the bomber as close as I dare because the bullet spread on these guns is atrocious, which unfortunately results in me taking another hit to my engine. At this point I'm just fully locked in getting the kill because I know that the bomber is damaged. and as soon as I see that severe damaged message, I disengage immediately. Here, I am showcasing what you need to do if you need to return to the base with a damaged engine and or leaking fuel or coolant. Counterintuitively, you need to gain as much altitude as you reasonably can, because the engine will fail on the way back. And when that engine fails, you want to be as high as you can to be able to glide back to the airfield. As you can see, soon my engine will be failing, but I've gained just enough altitude to be able to glide my way back to the airfield. This is a fairly important thing to do in Air Simulator, since if you manage to get to the airfield without crashing, you will no longer have to pay the respawn cost, which, if you're trying to save up silver lines, is a useful thing.
Excellent.
For the final match of the day, I'm in the deserts of Sinai, taking off to eliminate AI aircraft that happen to wander next to the airfield I'm taking off from. With these AI planes, there really isn't much to mention on their engagements. Normally they fly in very predictable patterns, their defensive armament is not very threatening, and provided you know the blind spots of where the gunners are, they essentially pose zero threat to you and just act as completely free kills. Furthermore, at this point, I am flying essentially a stone's throw away from the airfield, so I can afford to be as risky as I want, because if my plane takes damage, I will just put it back to the airfield and simply instantly repair. Now, since I have the downtime, I can talk about another thing that is really not seen in my videos, other than the really long time that simulator games usually take. What I don't really make clear is just the fact that in some lobbies you won't see players. For example, in this lobby there was only one active enemy fighter, so most of the time in this Sinai game was spent killing AI aircraft and AI ground targets, and as I don't believe that's a good showcase for a fighter plane, I cut all of that out of the video. For the last engagement of the day, after repairing and rearming, I once off take again, fly around for a while before spotting a BF-109. I know that other than Spitfires, really any plane you bait into a turn fight is dead, provided you play your cards right. So I know that if I manage to chase down that 109 and get him into a turn fight, I'll have a kill. Unfortunately, at this point, the Japanese engine curse hits me once again, and as you can see, I cannot catch up to him at all. The only reason I actually got to fight him is because that Messerschmitt spotted one of my teammates and started turning with him, giving me time to catch up. Once I finally catch up, I start turning and chase him down for the kill. As you can see, the turn rate of the Zero is very superior to the 109, but the cannons don't allow for a good shooting experience, so my first volley misses. I pull in with the 109 into the vertical, try to get some more shots off, all of which miss it. And before I have time to do anything else, my teammate graciously removes part of the Messerschmitt's wing using his plane as a bullet, putting him into a convenient spin for me, allowing me to, let's just say, borrow my teammate's skill. So, that has been the A6M5 Zero. What is my verdict? Well, as I said, this plane is very situational. It has an amazing turn rate, but really nothing else going for it. The plane is slow, it's down on power, it has lackluster armament, and in Simulator, these factors are dramatically multiplied. The guns, while they can do some damage, are a pain to aim with their spread and muzzle velocity. Furthermore, at this battle rating, the airfields are already fairly far away from the front line, so this Zero takes forever to get to objectives. And forget about chasing enemy fighters, because every single nation has something that's faster with a more powerful engine at 5.0. Overall, I would honestly recommend just sticking to the lower tiered Zeros if you want an enjoyable experience in Simulator. With all that, thank you for watching. I hope you found this informative and entertaining. See you in the next one. Take care.